I'm Darren Leader.
Welcome back to Riggle's Picks. You guys, big day today.
It's the biggest.
It's awesome. With us in studio, by the way, which doesn't happen very often for us.
It's exciting. You can feel the energy.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this. Kate Flannery is joining us. You know her from
What's
The Office.
up, fellas?
But you don't know her from a lot of other things.
Right.
Like the karate demos, the parking lot fighting, the street fighting.
If
That's
you look on
between you and I.
YouTube,
Yeah.
if you look on YouTube, you're going to see Kate going at it. It's awesome.
It's awesome. By the way, Kate, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
And I'm sorry I don't have Apple Maps. Sorry. I would have
No.
been here 10 minutes faster. Sorry.
I love the fact that you came out here. Nobody comes out here.
No, did you use a Thomas guide? He's like, hold
I
on.
actually
Kate.
just got rid of my Thomas guide in the back because it had sentimental value.
Is
Really?
Thomas Scott? Is that like a Rand McNally?
It was a book of maps for LA
Yeah,
before
it's-
GPS existed. And if
Seriously?
you didn't have it, you were screwed.
This big, dude. And you'd go, okay, I got to go to Eagle Rock. And you're like, okay, page 92. And then you got to go back to page 45.
It was literally, we used to use our brains, everybody.
Yeah.
That was back in the day. It was
Remember
nuts.
that?
Yeah, I do remember that.
That's old school.
It was.
You
and
guys
then
are like legit pirates.
Thomas Guide. I can't believe you don't know the Thomas Guide.
I don't. When I first started coming out to L.A., they had just come out with the
Tom Tom?
Tom-Tom,
The Tom Tom, which never worked. But the other
Oh.
one, yeah.
And I always had a rental car, right? And so I had to buy it extra as an
Yeah.
add-on. And then it had a sandbag that you
Right,
put it on your
because-
dashboard. You
because
put
it
the
didn't fit.
sandbag on it because
Wow.
there was no way to grip
There's
it.
nowhere to put- oh, my God.
So every turn I took, it kind of slide.
That's
Kind of
amazing.
slide, but it was weighed down by the sandbag. And that's how I got around LA, because God forbid. I mean, and then because I tried to print up like Google Maps.
Right, you could do that,
know,
yeah.
and I'd be
MapQuest.
reading. I'd be
MapQuest.
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 And I'd be reading. It says go to here, go 2 lights, and I'm reading and driving,
That's not
almost
good.
killing everybody in my path. Like
You
it was a
guys.
nightmare.
So you've had a Thomas Guide up until recently?
Well, you know what? I was on the show Boomtown right before I got The Office. I was technically about to recur on Boomtown. I'd done one episode. I played Neil McDonough's secretary. It's back in like 2003. And they had like this wrap gift that was like a cover for your leather cover for your Thomas Guide that said
Amazing.
Boomtown.
Amazing.
So I was like, hey. And I remember when I first met my boyfriend on who was the NBC photographer, I met him on The Office. We started dating season 2. We were the real Jim and Pam, by the way.
Yes.
Because we actually were like sniffing each other out for a couple seasons. And he
Wow.
had the same leather Thomas Guide that said Boomtown because he worked on all the NBC shows.
Oh, I'm sure.
He
Yeah.
worked on everything.
When you guys realized that,
Neil
did you go,
McDonough, by the
"Oh my
way."
God." I know.
know,
It
right?
was
Neil
a guest.
McDonough, a friend of the show.
love that guy.
Yeah,
Love
he's
that
a friend of
guy.
the
He's
show.
awesome.
His office is also right outside the store.
Oh my God!
That's right, he has
Is
an
Reve
office
there
here.
too? Are the kids there? Oh my God, what's happening?
They,
Yeah. Okay,
well,
We
she's
brought
around.
you here to connect with Neil.
Nice. Oh, see, you guys. We actually hung out with his sister in Ireland because their family's from Ireland. They moved here when they were little. I'm not telling you anything he wouldn't tell you. I don't think it's a big secret, but don't worry, I'll just keep it between us. It's okay, right? It won't get past. But anyway, we ended up like partying with his sister at this fantastic bar in Clifton on the west coast of
beautiful.
Ireland near Galway. It was.
Well,
it
and
was-
you're Irish.
I am
as well.
I can't get out of it. My dad owned a bar in Philadelphia forever. I'm really an alcoholic nepo baby.
What,
I really,
what's the bar called?
Flannery's Tavern.
Of course it is.
course
it
it
is.
is.
Yes.
And that's why you wore green?
Yes.
That's right. I'm wearing green inside. I'm sorry. Usually, I got to get you a T-shirt.
I wear
Yeah,
this.
I'm wearing this.
Yes,
is my
I love it.
PXG.
Yeah.
Did you know this?
Yeah. Well, very
Straight
well
from
placed.
Ireland. Straight from
Straight
the
straight out of
PXG
Ireland.
from
Golf,
Yeah.
right.
Ireland,
Yeah.
Yeah.
whiskey, golf.
I see it.
Sure.
Ireland.
Yeah.
Sure.
It all goes together.
Absolutely.
It all
Guinness.
belongs in one hand.
Yeah.
That's right. And there will be a fight at last
There-
call. Yes.
How many have you been to Ireland?
I have.
How many times? I know you just said that. How many
I haven't
times?
been I'm not as often as I would like, but I will say like the last couple times I was there, I got recognized, and I was like, "Holy crap!
That's
Why
amazing.
did my grandfather left for no reason? I could have just stayed."
Have you been to Cork?
I've driven through Cork.
Cork is amazing.
Is Cork amazing? I should have stopped. I'm sorry.
Cork is like an island inside. It's surrounded by water. It's fascinating. Anyway,
Maybe that's the original Atlantis, because that's how
It
Plato describes the original Atlantis.
Oh.
you know
A
what?
circular city surrounded by concentric circles of water.
I did not expect to learn something today, and thank you, Rob
Yeah.
Riggle.
You're
Wow.
welcome. Look, I don't want to make a big deal out of it. I'm just saying Atlantis is possibly the city of Cork, but no big deal.
Wow.
I don't want to. I don't want to start a massive pilgrimage where I guarantee that if you go there, you'll get younger.
Right.
I'm not saying that.
No, it doesn't seem like you're saying that.
No, I'm saying is it possible? Yeah, it is.
Anything's
It's
possible.
I just assumed as a TV drunk that cork just stood for some sort of like wine-related Irish thing, like or whiskey when they actually had corks on top of the whiskey bottles.
Yeah.
You gotta cork it.
Yeah, corket.
Cork
Cork
it.
it.
Aye.
Yes. And
That's more Scottish, isn't it? Aye, Blossom.
Hey, yeah, a little bit. That's
Yeah.
more piratey, actually. Aye.
Aye. Well, I got two pirates here using the Thomas guides.
You kind of do.
yeah.
Yeah, we're like Lewis and Clark.
Yeah.
A little bit. But
From the 90s.
yeah, 90s Lewis and Clark.
You guys are OG
Louise
Hollywood.
and Clark.
Totally.
We're gonna drive our convertible over the.
We're going to drive our VW Bug.
We're just
Yeah.
gonna go right over the cliff.
You guys are
gonna be
OG SoCal.
Oh, total.
I dig it.
So were you from Philly
I
originally?
am from Philly, yeah, and I was in Chicago after I went to Chicago to check out Second. My aunt sent me a ticket to check out Second City and to stay with her. So I studied there. I worked there. I worked at the United Theater. I did.
Oh, my
improv Olympic.
gosh.
It was the greatest.
Have you ever been to the TLA Theater in
I
Philly?
have. I love that place.
I've played that place
And
many
you
times.
have. It used to be like a like an old movie theater,
Mm-hmm.
like where they only showed like really cool art house films.
Yeah,
like, in
and
the
then now it's a rock
80s.
and roll club.
So great.
So interesting story about Philadelphia.
I'll be the judge of that, but
bar-
continue. Yes.
Fair enough.
Sorry.
I like
This is
Kate.
really funny. Really? Okay, sorry.
Philadelphia and bars.
Yes.
The Marine Corps was started in a bar. The first 2 battalions were recruited out of this bar of Marines. Ton Tavern, which there's only a historical marker marking it now,
Oh,
right?
wow.
Because it was on the waterfront. Then they changed that. It burned down, and anyway, it doesn't exist. So there's just a marker. However, the Marine Corps 250th birthday is this year. Okay,
Are they doing it there?
they're rebuilding Ton Tavern.
What?
Yes,
In Philly?
in Philly. Stand
my
by for more details. I don't have them,
Stop
but I
it.
know it's coming on like a hurricane.
That's super cool.
Dude, I'm the daughter of an army guy, but World War II, but so, like legit. It was like
Yeah, legit.
Battle of Anzio, like
Oh,
prisoner
yeah.
of war for over a year. Like my dad was a real deal.
Oh, yeah.
But I will say, if you have an in, get me in.
Oh,
Get
yeah.
me in. Get me in.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
go.
That's
Let's go.
amazing.
I hope I'm invited to the grand opening.
You should be.
Yes, I would like to be there, and
You're
I'd like to drink many pints.
You're an ambassador for the Marines.
Well, I don't know about that.
I know
Just
that.
one little court martial. What's a big
Yeah,
deal?
wait, what's up?
Tiny
I'm sorry.
CM.
That's a terrible thing. It's a terrible thing to
you
say.
got a baby.
Sorry.
You got a baby court martial.
I would never even apply that. You're a scholar and a gentleman.
Well, we live
Yes.
in a Instagram or a internet world. They can figure it out. There's nothing there.
Yeah. You can scrub anything now.
Yeah. What?
That. Anyway.
Scrub it.
Are you still on the road?
A lot. Yes.
Okay. Tell us
Yes.
about the show.
Oh, well, you mean?
Well, because you were doing, if I remember, you were doing lampshades.
Oh, yeah. Actually,
That's
lampshades.
over,
the lampshades
right?
are done. For,
Okay,
yeah,
that's done.
Yeah.
But you did that with Jane Lynch.
No, I didn't do lampshades with Jane Lynch.
Oh,
I
I'm
did
sorry.
that was Scott Robinson. He was a
Robinson.
guy I knew from Chicago,
Oh.
like a Second City dude.
Is this
Annoyed theater
Is this
guy.
a thing you started back there?
Yeah, we started, but then we kind of really developed it out here, like 2021. Like I did it a little bit by myself in New York. I did the character by myself, but we did like mashups of 70s and 80s songs. It's hard to do mashups by yourself. I do a duet by myself, but that's another.
Really?
So,
Who
yeah.
do you do?
Just a Riders on the Storm with Venus. I'm your Venus.
Yeah.
It totally works out. Don't steal it, everybody. You kids. I know those clown nights and
Yeah.
those
It's
rooms are
already
all bringing it back. I know you stand-up kids. You want it all.
It's already TikToked.
It's
Right?
done.
I
It's
did
done.
it. Anyway, but I actually toured with Jane Lynch. Have you heard of her? She's in everything.
Well, I remember when you guys were out doing your show.
Yeah, well,
And it was killing. You were going to all these theaters. You had a national tour. It was
yeah,
awesome.
we tour every Christmas. We've toured for 10 years every Christmas. Our non-Christmas show we haven't done in 5 years, and we're actually about to do a new version of it. But we played the Kennedy Center. We played the Carlisle. We did like a 2-week run at the
wow.
Carlisle in New York, which we got to stay. We didn't even get kicked out. And I wasn't even asked to make the beds or
Were you
serve
trying to?
anybody
Were you
dinner.
trying to get kicked out?
Well, no, but it happens very easily. I mean, what can I tell you? I was kind of snooping around because I have some, that place is the Carlisle's like it's lore for any musical theater geek, and it's
When you play the Kennedy Center, do you freak out before you go on stage?
Yeah, I actually did a run there. We did the Real Life Brady Bunch there for like 6 weeks, and I kept thinking we're gonna get kicked out. This is when Clinton was in office, and we kept inviting Chelsea Clinton, but she never came. She never made it. Which I
So
love
the
it, yeah.
Carlisle, is it haunted?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that Elaine Stritch lived there for a long time, so I kept pumping all the maids like, "Tell me about Elaine Stritch," because she's one of those people. I'm such a fan of hers. She played Alec Baldwin's mom on 30 Rock.
Yeah.
And she was a legend, Broadway legend, but she's also like a nightmare. she's the biggest. Like you want to love her from afar. I don't want to work with her. I don't want to meet her.
High maintenance.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
super critical and has no filter whatsoever.
Oh,
That's hard.
And
That's hard.
Literally, and it's been known to like not give commission to her agents because she acts like I really wasn't happy with your service. It's like it's not a tip.
Yeah.
Like, she's one of those.
Whoa.
Yeah. She's
I kind of like that.
That's tough.
yeah.
What do you mean you don't like that?
I like the boldness.
There's no boldness.
It kind of is bold.
No, there's a
I
way
didn't
to do
like
business
the way
and
you
there's a way
did
not
that
to
deal.
do business.
I'm sure there's litigation with that rejection.
Yeah.
I'm sure she was not like free to just
Right,
go.
not pay. You know what? Not today.
Boy, wouldn't that be nice if that was an option?
How about right? She's actually not. She's not that.
It should
far
be
up base.
performance based. Agents' work should be performance based. I like how you did that, Carl. No, I don't like how you did that, Tim. Not today.
Wow.
Ugh, we're revamping the system right now.
I don't know. I don't think this wholesale revolution is going to work.
It starts with one
It
man.
does.
It starts
it does
with one man.
It starts
Tell
with
us
one
more
man.
about Atlantis. Please. Atlantis. I want to be in a city surrounded by water and, you know.
I mean, there are so many mysteries out there right now.
Do you buy it?
What? Atlantis?
Do you think Atlantis was real?
Yeah.
Do you?
Sure.
Like for real?
Yeah, but what do you think it is?
I don't know.
You think
I'm
it's a
just asking.
futuristic city on Earth by aliens? Or do you
Maybe.
think it's just an ancient city that had it right?
Have you seen The Abyss?
Of course, everybody.
Okay, so when they go down,
Yeah.
and they've got the lighted alien sea people,
Right.
That's kind of Atlantis, right?
No.
What is it?
It's maybe Aleutians, but it's not necessarily Atlantis.
This
Now
is-
you're
Atlantis,
getting all biblical on us.
This is what I'm dealing with, Kate.
Aleutians, Philippians.
Atlantis was on the surface, fool.
But it's supposed to be down under now, right?
Well, yeah.
So it's
now,
like-
now nobody knows where it is.
That's
Dun
what-
dun dun. It could be in the cauldron of Santorini.
It could be in the Marianas Trench.
It could be in the Bermuda Triangle, and that's why everybody disappears.
How low can you go?
Here's my question.
Yes.
Do you think Atlantis exists under the ocean right now? And it's bustling with people, aliens, species.
Hold on, nobody's had a time to think of this pop quiz.
You've had a lifetime. I want to know your
I
gut
feel like
reaction.
my talk show interview just went by like that. We're already
Yeah.
and we're done.
And
That's
we're
awesome.
in time. Oh.
Thanks for coming. Anywho,
All right, so I'm sorry. Let's get back on
Okay.
track.
I apologize. My brain.
Sorry.
Are you out touring right now?
No,
Okay.
I'm not.
But in the
I will be in August for a week in Northern California and Wyoming, and in September, Jade and I are going out to like Maine, New Hampshire, and Provincetown, Massachusetts. But we have a Christmas album that did really, really well. It was literally on the Billboard Top 10 for like a couple weeks.
That's awesome.
It's not that long.
What's
but
it
it's long
called?
enough.
What's
It's
it called?
Swingin' Little Christmas. It's on Spotify. It's on
Swingin' Little
yeah,
Christmas
a
on
Swingin' Little
Spotify.
Christmas,
Songs?
Yes. Yeah, it's on Spotify and iTunes, and
Amazing.
yeah. So when you see it, it's like a concert. It's a Christmas concert, but it's also like it's like the Rat Pack, but with a couple of broads. There's a lot of comedy in between the songs. This is not a hostage situation. You're gonna have fun.
That's awesome.
She's sort of like the nun knocking me on the knuckles, and I'm sort of like the sheepdog knocking everything over.
I gotta
kinda
tell
get
you,
the sense, it's fun.
I'm embracing shows like that more and more, where I go and I'm entertained. It's a little bit of everything. I don't want to call it a variety show, but I'm laughing. I'm hearing
Right,
music.
right.
I went to recently. I was in New York and I went to the Carnegie Club, and it's right across the street from the Carnegie Hall, on the backside.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And it's
Oh yeah, I've heard of this place because I used to work right on the corner at the Red Eye Grill, right on 7th Avenue, right across from Carnegie Hall.
I absolutely loved it.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's so great.
Frank Sinatra, 12-piece orchestra.
Frank Sinatra was there.
No, cover guy.
I was gonna say,
But
he's in
He
Atlantis.
came
with
from
the dead
Atlantis.
Guys, yes.
But I'm telling you,
I'm with you.
Yeah, fist bump.
But I'm telling you, he nailed it. His sound. He sounds just like he actually knew Frank, and he tells stories like Frank. So he'll say like, "This next song was blah blah blah, written so and so," and he used to hang out at a little place up here called Patsy's, just right up
Oh,
here.
that's cool.
So he tells these stories, and then he goes into the song, and then the band is playing, and he sounds, I mean, gold. And I got like a espresso martini because I need to stay awake. I'm old. So I'm always firing up the engine. But you can smoke cigars in there. It's like the only place you can smoke inside.
Dude, I literally just ate at Patsy's like in February when I was there for the SNL concert.
Okay.
For the 50th concert.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, at Radio City. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's
That's
crazy.
that's when I was at the Carnegie.
Oh my
Hall,
God.
was over the SNL
Oh my God,
50th.
that's right. Oh my
Yeah.
God, my boyfriend. I don't know. Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
How we didn't hang.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so awesome. That's so crazy.
But yeah, I love those kind of shows. So wait, August? Christmas in August? What are we
No,
talking
no,
about?
no. We have a non-Christmas show we're working on.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
yeah. So we
But Northern
yeah.
California and Wyoming in the summertime that's a good call.
I think so. I think it'd be good because
Where-
I gotta tell you, our Christmas tour was like Rocky Horror Picture Show this last year, but in the snow. We almost we got pulled off the highway. It was we had so much cold weather. We literally almost had to knock on some mad
Sucks.
scientist's castle door, and because we made it in, but it was like holy, we almost died 3 times in a
Touring in
Sprinter
winter's
van.
hard.
I think the whole lake effect thing near Erie, Pennsylvania, Buffalo. Sorry guys, we'll see you in the spring,
Yeah.
right?
Where can people find the tour info?
If you go to janelynchofficial.com, it'll be up on mine too, but she gets there first.
Okay.
And what's yours?
I'm just if you just go to my Instagram at the real
Okay.
Kate Flannery.
Okay.
Yeah. I like to keep it very simple.
Yeah.
Just
That's the way to do it.
Thomas
son
Guide.
of a bitch, right?
Yeah.
So with it. I'm
My
simple.
Garmin GPS.
Well, now, yeah, please.
Right?
I just wish we went back to the days of just using a compass.
Oh my God.
Right, why would you want that? Look how good we have it now. Look, there's a lot of things I don't like about now. There's a lot of things I love.
There's no bullshit videos that are going to come through on my compass that I got to waste all my time going, oh, look at the dog with the
Do
auto
you know how many
tune.
times I have to record in Burbank or in L.A. or down in Culver, and it would take me days and Sherpas to help me without
Right.
But you'd appreciate it.
the GPS.
You would get to know the town better.
Thank you, Kate.
You might pull over and ask somebody at a 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
I
and
would
then-
ask
where to
many,
get off.
many people.
And then you strike up a relationship and a friendship that lasts a lifetime.
What is going on here? What is going on?
This is an intervention.
Oh,
Rob.
God dang it.
Come on.
Again?
Yeah, a little bit.
Again?
You need them
They
every now
never
and
take, man. They
That's-
never.
All it
Never
takes
say never, buddy. Never.
time.
Yeah, that's right. Never say never. We
Listen,
believe in you.
We have Kate Flannery on the show, and if we don't start asking some office questions,
I'm
our
sorry.
fans
Please.
are going to beat
Yeah,
us
they're already
to
like,
death.
ugh. Yeah,
You know what?
So
You are right.
we should ask a few.
it's true.
Okay.
All right, I'll ask the first one.
Okay.
Did you have a good experience on the office? Yes, I had a great experience. And actually, I actually really did because it's so nice to. Mostly, that's all people want to talk to me about, and thank God I had a great experience because I would be in hell right now. I would.
Right.
I
Yeah.
really would be.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure.
Like hell. And I know some people that are in hell, not from our show, but
Yeah.
from other shows where you're just they
Nightmare.
just want to talk about something else. They want to change the dial. I'm like, dude, you can try to change the channel all you want, but don't be a douchebag to your fans because
Yeah.
they are why we are literally as we get older, but also just if you're in the business, I used to wait on so many miserable movie stars and TV stars in Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
I actually kept my restaurant job through the first season of The Office.
At
So
Kate
I
Manley?
was
Did
like,
you
Kate
really?
Manley. I did because we only had 6 episodes. It was nothing, and I wasn't in the pilot. I actually replaced somebody for the pilot.
Were you a good
So I
server?
was I was okay. I mean, I was a little bit oh God, just because there was so many high maintenance.
Right.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah,
So,
waiting tables. By the way, waiting table is the toughest job I've ever had in my life, and I was in the Marines, and it was the toughest job.
What?
One of the toughest jobs I ever had, and because it required me to be pleasant to
Right.
really not great people.
Yes. Yeah, I get it.
And
yeah.
how hard is? I never understood how hard is it just to be decent. Like I understand you can have a bad day. You're having, you got bad news. Something's not right. You just don't want to talk.
Right.
I appreciate and respect and understand all of that, but just do that. You don't have to be harsh.
You don't have to be a dick.
Yeah,
You
that's
just
it.
say it.
Yeah, look, if you're not in a chatty mood, that's fine. You
So
know?
true.
I handled, because some people were like that. Some people were just like, I want this, this, and this, and then hand me, not even look at me or whatever.
Right.
But that didn't bother me.
I
was like-
prefer that.
I was
Yeah,
like, I was
I
like,
prefer that.
That's fine with me. That's good.
Totally.
It's when they got crazy with
Yeah.
the nitpicky and
Oh.
the facial expressions they would make at you.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
when they look at
The
you.
judgment. Oh,
like,
yeah.
What is
yeah.
this? I go, it's what you ordered.
Yeah.
It tastes like shit, or whatever. And I'm
That's
like,
your mouth, sir.
I go, well, let me get rid of that for you.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, I can't eat now. And you're like, okay, I know what you're doing. We'll
Dude.
get you out of here as soon as we can. No bill, right?
Yeah. I mean, I used to work Sunday brunch, so I will give it up. People have blood sugar issues. A lot of them went to church. They're hungry. I get it. It's daylight savings. You missed an hour. You're starving. I understand.
Yeah.
You're married to so-and-so who's a big so-and-so. Yeah, I know. And you can have me fired if you wanted to. I watched them have some people fired if they
No.
were. Yeah. Oh, yeah,
Really?
yeah,
That's
yeah.
low.
It is.
Shit right
That's
there.
dirty.
It totally is. There
Ugh.
were some heads of studios that would come in and just there they'd be pissed pissed off by one thing. I'm like, why are you taking out on that guy? Like,
Yeah.
he has no power. Like, what? Why?
See,
why are you
that's what
taking out the
I'll
waiter?
never forgive. I'll never forgive that stuff because there's a special place in hell
There's
for
dirty.
people who do that.
And speaking of hell, I used to wait on like Harvey Weinstein. By the way, not interested. Never made eye contact with me. Thank God. He's the devil incarnate. But I also waited on like really cool people like Wes Anderson and even like Mike White. I was like, oh my God, I used to wait on him like 22 years ago. He was really nice.
Yeah.
Did you ever get the oversharer at the booth with you?
Very rarely, but usually the restaurant was open late, so sometimes if guys would come in by themselves, like I always felt like it was like phone sex in person, but not that it was phone sex, but they sort of like flirt with you, and you'd be like, oh my God, I think this guy's gonna ask me out, and then like they never, whatever, it's fine. I'm just like so stupid. It sort of felt like a little. I was in a sitcom in my mind. I was in a rom-com in my mind.
Wow.
And they'd be so smart, and then they'd come in like maybe like 2 months later with some other woman, and they like barely look at you, and you're like, okay, I get it.
I know
get
you,
it.
man.
Yeah, you son of a.
Yeah.
But you
heartbreaker.
kept your job during the first season, and
did.
I
did.
understand that because if you're only getting 6 episodes,
Yeah.
and there's, you don't know what's going to happen. You got to keep your job. You got
Yeah. Because I when I first got Second City, I was like, woohoo, I'm out, woohoo. I was working Cafe Barbarima. I'm like, so long, suckers. And then I was like, wait a minute, what do we make?
Yeah.
Oh. So I ended up having to get another restaurant job. I'm like,
Well, I'm sure you get approached. I get approached. I'm sure you get approached by young actors and comedians
Yes.
who are like, I want to do what you do. How
Yes.
do I do it? Okay,
How do
fine.
I do it?
And then you're like, you're going to have a day job.
yes, and it's
because
not a
you have to-
punishment.
yeah, but
It's
you have
not
to
a
pay your
punishment.
bills. You have to
Yeah.
pay your bills, and then you're going to do this on top of that.
Right.
So get ready for 2 jobs.
Right.
And then you can't leave the one job until this job starts to provide enough, and that's going to take many years.
Yes, and you're also going to be available to, whenever you can, to be on a stage somewhere in front of other people, plus auditioning, plus working full time,
Yeah.
plus making your actual rent. Do you remember that book, The Artist's Way?
Yes, of course.
Okay, the bummer about that book is that there was one line that all these people I knew in like the late 80s, early 90s held on to with like 2 hands. It was, do what you love, the money will follow. I'm like, that's why they would start putting their rent on credit cards.
Yeah.
They're like, oh no, it's going to happen. I can feel it.
Bad
Dude.
news.
No.
it's-
You have to wait
dude.
till you have one in the hand.
Yes.
You do.
Yes.
I had 3 jobs at one point.
Yep.
Comedy being one of them.
Right.
And
right.
and the thing is I I wanted that to be the thing,
Sure.
and I was working to make that the thing, but I had rent and I had to eat, and like you have to do that. You have to take care of business first.
It's so true. And you don't want to walk in so desperate for every job
Yeah.
that you're like, well, because then it makes you so, like, it just makes you sick and jealous of your friends. And it blows.
Yeah,
Not
and
healthy.
you say yes to things you would normally.
Yeah,
not,
that's
not
right.
say
That's
yes
right.
to.
You say, and if you have another job, you're like, I really don't.
I'm good.
Yeah, absolutely. And there are a few things where you're like, oh my God, thank God I never got into that whole.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I worked one day on the Spirit of Philadelphia. It was like a singing waiter boat. They have one in Chicago. They've got a bunch of them. Oh my God.
Yes.
The worst. Because you can't leave. If your shift ends early, you can't leave. You're on the. And the show was terrible. I'm sorry. It was so terrible. I really remember there was like a line in like this medley. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, li, do. Oklahoma where the wind comes sweeping. I'm like, who writes this shit? One table was like, this show is great. Another table was like, this is the worst show I've ever seen. I'm like, I'm with you. I worked there one day. I rehearsed for 2 weeks. I was like, sorry, guys. And I know people that made a lot of money at those boats.
I'm with you. I had
God
a
bless.
job in college, and I remember thinking, this was because I waited tables. It was hard. I waited tables and I worked the door. So I wait tables during the day, and at night I would work the door, right? At Stanford and Sons Comedy Club in Kansas City, down at Westport.
Fantastic.
Then what did I? Oh, it had something to do with what you were just saying. Spirit of '76. Oh,
You did. You're
flew
doing
out
it.
of my mind.
You're doing
It
it.
just flew out of my mind.
You just did it.
What'd I do?
You had an old man moment.
No, that can't be right.
Dude, I watched the thought just go.
Did you see it evaporate?
Totally.
Did you see it?
I saw.
Oh no, I got it back.
Okay, good.
I got it back.
Young man
See?
moment.
So young man.
The
so what it
Prevagen
was-
just kicked in.
because I started
Yeah.
on the other thing, but it was because that job was hard. I went out the next summer to see what else they had. Like what else could I do that's not that? Because that was a hard job. And by the way, also the summer before that, I worked in a bag factory, which was really hard, right?
What?
So I
It's
just-
a
I
bag
keep-
factory.
Yeah,
Oh my
so
god.
in North Kansas City, down by the river, I was like, ah.
That sounds like a skit.
So then I was like, I'm gonna get a white collar job. That's what I'm gonna do. And I'm not at what 20? You're gonna get a
Right,
white. Like, what are you
right.
doing? So I was like, so I'm gonna go sell this cutlery.
Oh,
you know what I'm
no.
talking about. Everybody fell into this trap.
Oh no.
So I went to the training session, right? And they're like, so what you do? You're a sales rep, you know, and you have to go through this screening. So they make you feel like, hey, I got selected. You know, I'm like
Yes.
one out of 20 that they picked or whatever. So they made me feel special. Then I go to the training, and at the end of it, I go, so if I understand correctly, you know, I understand the product, I understand you want to say, but I have to go do this to my friends and family, and they're like, well, that's where you start. I'm like, no. That's what's going on here. And they hemmed and hawed, and right then, I mean, I might be young, but I wasn't born yesterday.
Oh
So I was
my
like,
god.
this is a shakedown. Shit. That job was over, and I was back in Stanford. I was waiting tables
Yeah.
again.
Too good to be true.
Yeah.
If it sounds too good to be true,
It was-
it is.
it is.
But again, it's funny. And people always ask me like if I ever worked in an office. I did not like working in offices. It was so boring. I have an older sister that had. I'm one of 7 kids, so my older sister's like almost 14 years older than me. So she was like in the real workforce, and she worked for like a market research. Like it was Chilton, but they did books on mechanics and stuff too. But they also did market research. So I remember having to do like data entry. And I did it for a few months, and it was in a windowless room, and some guy kept taking off his shoes, and I mean, it was just bad. And even when we went to the break room, they had windows, but they were smoked glass, so you never knew what the weather was. It was so weird.
Sounds miserable.
It
really
sounds like
was.
Joe versus the volcano, where the lights sucking the life out.
Sort of.
you
It
know?
really kind of was. And then I remember, that you could make free long distance phone calls. So one of my best friends who I did theater with, he went to the boys' school next to the girls' school I went to, and so he would call me in the summer. So I feel like that's how we stayed close friends, because he had free long distance. My parents had a summer house like almost 2 hours away at the Jersey Shore, and like. People didn't really call you when it was long distance back then.
Right, it was
'Cause
expensive.
It was expensive, and you would get yelled at by your dad.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, like
With the curly cord around the corner.
He'd come
no,
in with
right.
Oh yeah,
the phone bill.
Yes.
Who the hell
Who
has been
did
talking
that?
about this?
The
dude.
worst, right?
Yeah.
The worst.
Oh, we got to talk about The Office. We keep getting
Oh, yeah. That's
distracted.
okay.
We're gonna get
So
hammered. by...
you answered your first question.
Yes.
What's your second question for yourself?
The second one was, have I ever worked in an office? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of
So,
course.
and I have, but I didn't particularly care for it. I temped a little bit in Chicago. I hated it. And I did that when I was like doing shows and working in a restaurant, because I was like, oh, maybe I need extra. I'm like, oh my God, this is
Well, you're creative,
torture.
so being in an office is the antithesis of being creative. You're just like,
Yeah, right. Or
drive
you're,
you nuts.
Right, or you're answering for it, and like suddenly I have to do a switchboard. I'm like, oh my God. It always feels like some 1940s, you know, women, people in black, please hold, you know,
Right.
like, you're the wrong people. Oh my God. Even though there were no cords tangled, they really were tangled. I hated it. I couldn't do it. I think I left one of the places I left at lunch, and I never went back. Never did that before.
I did that once.
I've heard stories.
I did it once.
I never did it, but
I got
stories.
hired at a restaurant, actually here in Westlake, when I was, because I grew up here, and I went in for 4 hours, and then I had a break, like a half-hour break. And I went, all right, cool, and I was so bummed out on the gig. I was like, I just set my thing down, and I just left. I remember driving home, going, I can't believe I'm doing this, and I got over it the next day.
I was going to say, run as fast as your little legs can
Yeah.
carry you. You're done. When you have that feeling,
You
you
know.
got to go. You got to go. If you don't listen to that voice,
Yeah.
you're screwed. And I anybody that has that, I mean, you got to listen to yourself. Oh, my God.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I feel like I am not this person.
So let me
No.
ask that then. When
Yes.
you listened to your voice that said show business, entertainment, comedy, when was that? When did you first hear that voice?
You know what? I always wanted to be a kid actor, and my mother was not very cooperative. I'm actually very grateful to her, because the more I meet like former child stars, some of them are great, but they all have this thing where they think they're funny, but they're not, because they always had crew members laughing at their jokes and smiling and giving
Yeah.
them all attention. You got to bomb to be funny. You're screwed. If you're a former child star, I'm sorry. You are not really funny, even though people are laughing. You might have a good sense of humor, but you are not truly, truly funny.
I couldn't agree more.
I'm gonna say it. There's an exception.
Who?
Jason Bateman.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, God. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
but there's exceptions to
No,
every
yeah,
rule.
there are exceptions. No, no.
And he's-
there are
yeah.
exceptions. There are exceptions.
He's pretty much the only one because Ricky Schroeder's not funny.
But Ricky's not trying to be funny.
He's right behind you, by the way.
Damn
no, I'm just
it.
kidding. No. Rick,
He's so
what's
clever.
up?
Everybody, welcome Rick Schroeder to the show.
Dang it. But you know what I mean. It's a phenomenon. Like, so I'm actually grateful that my mom put the brakes on. So when I was a senior in high school, I worked at a dinner theater in a show for 3 months, and it was a good learning experience. Like I realized like there were people that were at that dinner theater that was their pinnacle. Like they weren't gonna, But it was good to get a taste of the discipline of doing 8 shows a week and getting to leave Wednesdays after. Fourth period because I had a matinee. I felt like a child star because of that.
Yeah, I've
That's
got my own
awesome.
matinee.
That's pretty
Totally.
cool.
But I grew up watching so many comedies like Carol Burnett and Mary Tyler Moore and MASH and like all these shows that have like great finales. So I just feel so grateful to have been on The Office, like a long running show. Like I was 40 when I got the job. I actually got to be a truly funny character. I mean, I say that not because of me, but I feel like a total weird character that didn't have anything to do with being a woman.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't because I was a mom
Right.
or like a love interest.
You were
like,
a citizen.
I just got to be a funny citizen,
Yeah.
which is rare for the girls to get to do because a lot of you guys know like there's 30 jobs for you, 1 for the girl. It's like 15 more for that guy and
It's gotten-
1 more for the.
You're right. You're right. But it's gotten better. I see.
Has
now,
it? It's glacial, dude. It's glacial. I mean, in comparison.
yeah.
In comparison.
In
I'm just
comparison,
saying.
I guess.
And if you're
Since I started,
Yeah,
I
this
feel
is
like it's
true.
gotten way better. But
It would, yeah. You don't know, absolutely. Trust me, I have a really good career. I am not complaining, but I am less and less encouraging to young talent, particularly female talent. They have to know like what to expect. That's all. And you got to do your work, and you still have to keep
I'm with
your
you on that.
chops up, even if you don't have a job for a while and somebody else is working like all the time. Like you have to be ready to go in
At
to the
any
tennis
time.
game at any moment and like boom, kill it.
and
So,
I tell young actors that too. Regardless of gender or anything, I just say you count on 10 years.
Oh yeah.
Count
yeah.
on 10 years of grinding.
Yeah.
And that's the average. I mean, it could be less and
Yeah.
it could be more.
Yeah, and
But-
sometimes if
but-
it's less, it's not a gift.
Yeah.
Sometimes like then you think like I am the greatest, and then you blow all your money.
Yeah.
And I've seen that
Yeah.
so many
and
times.
but that's what I mean, a life in the arts. People want to dabble. I hear it makes me crazy when people are like, I want to try this acting thing for a couple years, and if it doesn't pan out, then I'm going to go do this, that, and the other. I'm like, well, then you probably shouldn't just save those 2 years and go do the other thing.
Right.
Because
Right,
if
or-
you're choosing a life in the arts, you're choosing a life in the
It's
arts.
so true. I just want to do voiceover. I'm just going to do cartoons. That's all I'm going to do. It's going to be great. I'm like, is it? Like, are you kidding me? Like, do you know how? I mean, and some people are great and they will do it,
Yeah.
but most of them will not.
That's it.
Rare.
Like, there's always exceptions to every rule.
Right.
Yes.
And that's the problem. I think that somebody hears about one guy or gal that got away with it, and
Right.
they're like, well, so-and-so did. Yeah, but that's 1 out of 1,000.
I know.
But, okay,
Yeah.
so let's go back to The Office.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to circle The Office. We're going to
Yes.
circle
I love
that. The cast of The Office obviously is iconic, in my opinion, because everybody on it was a home run hitter. I thought did a
Yeah.
wonderful job. You all learned, and the writers learned. You learned your characters. It's that synergy. It's that where everything came together, and they learned how to write for you. They learned how to play the
No,
characters.
such a gift. I
It's a
can't
perfect
even.
show.
It was really
Really.
fantastic. It was really an amazing show. And I'm assuming, like all fans, you're all still friends and you all hang out and you all talk to each
We're
other.
all still. I mean, there's so many fan things, so we're all really like we're all
Good.
connected for sure.
Good. That's
Yeah.
that's what the fans want to hear.
No, it's really true, and actually, it's awesome, and it's a gift for us too. Because you were on the show. I mean, I love that you were Captain Jack, and I got to be topless with the.
I was about to say, you and
life
I,
preserver.
we snuck off.
We really did, didn't we? And boy, that Booze Cruise episode, they just got all that. Like the light was coming up. It was the last day on that. We were like, oh my God. Ken Quapis is like, we gotta get Captain Jack and Meredith in there. Let's go. I mean, oh my God, that was crazy. And I don't know if you remember this, but one of the boats that was going back to the shore they ran out of gas.
Yes.
In the fog, in the
Ah,
dark.
I forgot about
Oh
that.
my God.
Wow.
Yeah,
Jeez.
because we shot in Long Beach in the harbor there.
It's
all
just like
night,
Scranton,
all
you guys. It's just like Scranton. I've been to Pennsylvania. It's identical. They went for months looking for the right.
The exact
Double.
right.
Long Beach and
I'll tell you
Scranton.
what, it was cold at night.
It
was. It was
was.
as cold
Oh,
as Scranton.
yeah.
It
that's for
was.
Sure.
It was. And it's so funny because there was a guy in the band. that played on the boat that I used to perform with in New York in a band called Monopuff.
No
Hal
kidding.
Cragen. He used to play with Iggy and the Stooges. He's a bass player. Such a
Wow.
great guy. Yeah, I love that he was. But Bob Thiel, he produced the theme to The Office. He put the band together. He played in the band as well. So he got like his buddies.
How
and so,
fun.
I know.
I
It's
didn't
so
know that.
crazy.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's good
yeah.
trivia.
Yeah. So when I was in Monopuff, that was John Flansburgh's other band. He and John Linnell started They Might Be Giants. So so
Wow.
Monopuff would open for the Giants. I did that for like 3 years.
Do you
It was
play
so
guitar?
Fun. I don't. I sing. I play the piano. I usually don't get paid to play the piano, but I have sung a little bit, so it was really fun.
That's cool.
It was.
I
cool.
remember on that episode, I had to say the word Paul Pack.
Oh, that's right.
Wallen Paul
Pack.
And I was still pretty green in my acting life because this was I hadn't done much. I mean, I had done stuff on stage, but I hadn't done, with cameras and people and
The
like,
whole thing.
like people I'm like, oh my God. I was intimidated. I wasn't in over my head, but I was barely,
Right.
and
You were great.
And I remember, for whatever reason, and I've seen this happen to other actors, I couldn't get that word to save my life.
It happens. It
I
happens to the
couldn't
best of us.
Get that word.
It's interesting.
And it made me. I was having an out of body at one point because I couldn't. And Ken kept coming up and goes, "It's Wallen Paul Pack," and I go, "Yep, nope, I got it." And he goes, "Do you?" I go, "Yep." I goes, "Okay." I go back and I fuck it up. I could not. And so finally, I think I got it once maybe, and we're like, "That's it. Did you use that? That's it."
Right.
But I swear, since I got off that boat that night, I have said it perfectly every day of
Isn't
my
that
life.
crazy?
And for whatever reason, that 15 minutes, because that's all it was. It was about 10 or 15 minutes.
It's weird
that
how
they
the
were
brain
on my
does that.
coverage when I had to say it,
Dude,
and I just
we've
couldn't
all
find
been.
it.
I actually was like
I think
that.
it was the way I read it in the script. I learned it a different
It's
way.
a weird-
maybe.
that's
And it's
exactly
like
right.
a song. You
It
learn a
is like-
song
yes.
a certain way, and so when they changed it on me, or when I realized I was pronouncing it wrong or something, I
Your
couldn't
brain
get it
couldn't
back.
adapt. I had that with the word larynx. I used to call it larynx.
Right.
I never said it right as a kid. So I had that line, Josh Groban. I was like, I threatened, like, I'm gonna cut your larynx. Like but I kept saying, they were like, it's larynx. I don't even know what it is. What is it?
Larynx.
Larynx.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the hell it is. I should know it by now. But obviously I was more comfortable because it was season 8. I was like, all right, you guys, can we just fix it? But no,
Right.
no. But I was like, and Josh Groban's there, for we have him for 3 hours in
Right.
one episode outside with the sun at the Disney park. It's like every element about it was like, oh my God,
Yeah,
get
high
it
stakes,
right.
High stakes.
Totally, I'm an idiot.
Yeah, no.
Money's
oh my
being
God.
spent on every miss.
I actually think the way you were pronouncing it, larynx,
Yeah.
that works for Meredith.
That's what I was thinking.
They didn't buy it though. No,
No,
that
they
didn't translate. I know.
Meredith is like the perfect excuse for screwing anything in the larynx.
Absolutely right. That's why I say like a little I don't know what resting face drunk.
Yeah.
Resting drunk face. That's what I meant.
Totally.
Yeah, just
All right,
yeah.
so one more question that I
Yes.
think the fans would have.
Please.
Do you have a favorite episode?
It's so hard to pick one. Like, I'm not kidding. My experience was so wonderful. And I have to tell you, I loved that I didn't talk a lot. It really was like an exercise in like trusting the process. Because sometimes like they would cut my line and I would watch the episode. I was like, I still got to laugh. Like they went to me. My face was basically saying what the line was.
Yeah.
So that I didn't have to talk. So I was like, this is a very interesting experiment to like really focus on how to be so present that you are a character whether you speak or not. Like people, and I feel like that's Ken Kwapis was such a great director on he did so many great episodes on the show, but he really was like, and they told us to bring real paperwork. So the first season we were like literally doing real paperwork. So when the camera came to you, like any documentary, you weren't just like suddenly working or trying to figure out a
Right.
shtick. It's like you were literally working, like already.
That's
you
smart.
were already in it. And I just so for me, just to get to watch Steve Carell, like he just, I can't even tell you how many ideas would come through his head of just how to do the same scene with the same words, but a little differently and a little funnier. Like he's a genius.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I don't know why he didn't get an Emmy. I don't get it.
Doesn't
I don't
make any
get
sense. It doesn't
It
make
really
any
doesn't.
sense.
Nope. Alec Baldwin. First it was Tony Shalhoub, and then it was Alec Baldwin.
I think I just assumed he did.
Me too.
Yeah. Well, he won the Golden Globe. He won 1 Golden Globe. That is not enough in my book. But yeah. But who knows? I mean, but he's also been nominated for an Academy Award. I feel like that's going to be his, because he deserves an Academy Award.
Yeah,
He's brilliant.
He
actually.
is tremendous.
He is. So
Tremendous
just like understanding. Also, like, that is the beauty of being 40 and being on a show as opposed to being 20, which is like, when do I speak? Voila. What about me? You know, as opposed to just like having, like, holding this space, and also just being a true ensemble person, which is like, I will support you by making choices on how I'm listening to you. And that actually serves what he's doing. You know, I mean, all those things that we learn in improv that actually you kind of never get to do for real on camera. So that's one thing, you know, it was just, we were just always in great hands.
Well, you all were so talented too, because, and just to your point, you know, if you know how your character, the character of Meredith were to react in any situation to anything given Meredith, you would know, because you're like, well, I know Meredith would respond this way.
Right.
Boom. You know, and then that improv training comes into play there, because then, well, Meredith does this instinctually.
Right.
In the moment, though, for you, because I'm not an actor, in the moment for you, you're just doing. You're not like, this is what Meredith would do. You're just doing it, right?
Well, sometimes you make a choice ahead of time when you read it, but sometimes, like I said, because Steve would do different things, different takes, you're like, oh, like, that's different. Like, and so then you are in the moment. So you have to decide, like, because I definitely had like a different posture. I held myself differently as Meredith. I know a lot of women, particularly in Pennsylvania, I have like family members who are not particularly vain. Like, they don't care how they look.
Right.
And so many women, like, care how they look, particularly out here in LA, fellas, and showbiz.
Yeah.
But it was like, so for me, like, I can't tell you how many women have come up to me and like, oh my God, I can totally relate. Like, you know, I'm the Meredith of my office. But there's like this, but there's a way that people sort of carry themselves that don't have vanity that I'm so fascinated by. Yeah. And I wish I could be more like them all the time. Like, there's literally no shame, you know? And, you know, I mean, so like.
It's an interesting character study.
Yeah, it is. It really is. So
but
like,
I got to say, too, as a fan, when they did cut to you for a one-liner or a look or an expression or even just a reaction, like a,
yeah,
it was gold. It was always gold. It was gold.
You're very kind. It was so much fun. It was just, it really was like just, I realized, like, being one of 7 kids, I was born into an ensemble. Yeah. So you always have to sort of figure out, like, sometimes, like, if you talk too much, like, you get the backhand, or you get, like, shut, you lose favor, or people stop listening to you. So I always say, don't be afraid of being playing a character that doesn't talk a lot, because I also feel like if you are stuck with the exposition as a character, it's easy for people to tune out. You're not as funny usually.
Right.
It's hard to be funny. So sometimes, when they move characters up into a spinoff, like, they lose their funny.
Sure.
And it sucks. Yeah. It sucks.
What's the dream next gig for Kate?
Post Office, the spinoff. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, oh wow! I did not see that coming, and it's awesome.
Sorry. Or the bar. We can call it the bar. Right? No.
Flannery's.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm still learning. I'm still growing. I'm actually writing right now. I'm writing a memoir. It's taking forever, and my self-examination is like, oh dear God, my self-esteem is so low. But it's fine. I'm busting through. So we'll see.
Are you doing that with somebody or by yourself?
I'm doing it by myself. That's probably my biggest mistake, because I am my own worst enemy. So I think I need to. Yeah, I need to.
That's a challenge.
Yeah, we'll see. But
I'm writing something too, and it's a challenge.
Yeah, I feel like, as much as I am critical about people who are in the business who, like, say they're writing a book and the book is like, starts out great and then just goes nowhere, which is, I feel like I don't want to do a money grab, but now I'm doing like a soul grab because I'm like losing my mind. No, It's a mind grab. I'll get there. But I also feel like I have such great fortune, and and luckily I've made some mistakes, and I luckily have. Like, I still get to be here. Yeah. Like, it's funny. I was up for SNL, and when I was at Second City and the Annoyance Theater at the same time, and I remember just being at the SNL 50th at the concert, and I was like, I ran into my friend who got the show and I didn't, because we were doing a show together, and I thought, God, thank God I had a lot of therapy, because I could just really enjoy being here and like let that go. Yeah. Because I always say, like, I didn't get SNL. It just took 13 short years to get The Office. Struggling and waiting tables and sleeping on couches.
If you look at the trade-off of what that meant to your career, like a year or two on SNL versus what you have with The Office.
I think slow and steady wins a race. I really do, and I think SNL is a gift for some people, but not for everybody.
That's right.
And not everybody gets a career from it.
That's
And
right.
I don't get it, but that's kind of how it is.
Yeah. There's no rhyme or reason to that either. It's
No.
weird. It's bizarre, isn't it?
It really
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
It really is. Yeah,
I'm with you
because
on that.
yeah, it's and it's funny. I just ran into somebody that was working with some SNL writers, and he was saying that everybody was so tweaked at the 50th because some people got a +1, some people didn't. Some people got in this thing. Some people got invited Saturday night. Not everybody got to go Saturday night. Some people got, and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It's so funny, and
still-
these people hadn't worked there in years, and they still felt that weird
Still
hierarchy.
playground politics. still.
Oh,
yeah, it's
brutal.
bizarre.
It's
I had a couple
brutal.
conversations with people who were in the show on Sunday night.
Yeah.
And they were still waiting for Lauren's approval.
Oh
I
my
was
God.
they were laughing about it. You know, they were having a drink and laughing about
But
it.
it's
they're-
real.
But they're, you know,
Yeah.
it's
It
one
is
of those things.
real.
It's like, well,
I have to say, during my interview, I felt Lauren was mentioning that a lot of, particularly in the first cast of SNL, that a lot of the cast members had fathers who had passed away. And I was like, or didn't have good relationships with their dad. I'm like, I think I didn't get the job because I love my dad and he's still here.
Yeah.
This blows.
Thanks for nothing, Dad.
Kate, thank you
You guys,
for
thank
coming
you so
all the
much.
way
Of
out here and
course.
You are.
talking with us.
And I don't know if you guys know this, but this month is the 20th anniversary of when The Office started airing.
No.
Yeah.
I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
so we're doing a bunch of press stuff. So I was literally just in Scranton 2 weeks ago with Brian Baumgartner and
I love Brian.
Yeah,
we
there-
play golf together.
Oh, that's right. That's
He was
right.
on
He
the
was
show?
telling me. He was telling me. He was
Yeah.
telling me. Oh my gosh.
That's
Yeah.
right.
So we did a whole thing for Chili's on like a digital app for them, like a bunch of stuff online. So that was fun. And
Yeah.
I'm like, so you're probably gonna see me popping up on some weird. I think we're doing like Access Hollywood. We did
Oh,
it yesterday.
awesome.
It airs today. Yeah. There's a few stuff popping up. So yeah, I'm so happy to celebrate something that I actually give a shit about
Yeah.
still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're awesome.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you so much. You're so
Yeah,
sweet. But yeah,
um,
things were great, and I feel like it literally, if I get hit by a car for real, you guys, it was a great life. I had a great time. It's all good. Yeah.
Well, that's not going to happen.
It
That's not
won't
going to
happen.
happen.
No, I know, cancel.
knock on
Don't
wood.
say that.
No.
No,
Knock
no,
on
no.
wood. Give
But
me
if
your
it's
head.
by Steve Carell, it would be really poetic, right? Steve Carell hits
using
me.
a Thomas guide. Oh.
Yeah. And that's how you wrap the show up.
Hey!
Nice callback. D-Man with D-Man. That was beautiful. Thank you, Kate, for
Guys,
joining us.
Thank you so
Thank
much. You're
you.
the best. Dude.
I'm going to do that.
No,
with my-
yeah, feel better.
Yes,
Feel
thank
better.
you.
Feel better.
Hey, this has been Riggle's Picks. I'm Rob Riggle.
I'm Darren Leader.
Fa-fa-fa-fa.